As a gardener, I've watched far too many beautiful, promising tomato plants fail for entirely avoidable reasons. And I am absolutely determined that your plants will not be among them this year. The decisions you make right now, out in your garden today, they're going to determine your entire summer harvest. So let's jump right into this.
Here is the absolute truth about growing tomatoes. June is the month that makes or breaks your harvest, not August, not September, June. The mistakes you avoid this month will completely determine whether you end up with a robust plant that pumps out hundreds of fruits all summer long, or one that struggles, stalls, and just gives up before it ever reaches its potential. In this explainer, we're walking through the 5 specific things that genuinely kill tomato plants in June. I don't mean they just slow them down or reduce your yield, I mean they destroy the harvest entirely. But before we get too far in, I want to plant a little seed in your mind. The 5th thing on our list, it catches even the most experienced gardeners completely off guard. Why? Because it doesn't look dangerous at all. In fact, it looks like exactly the right thing to do. Keep that in the back of your mind as we go.
So, why is June specifically so critical? Well, it all comes down to something called metabolic demand. Right now, your plant is at its absolute most vulnerable. It's developing its very first fruits, it's managing an incredibly rapid rate of growth, and it's trying to adjust to outdoor conditions, all at the exact same time. Every single cell in those developing baby fruits requires a steady, unbroken supply of water and dissolved nutrients just to survive. The 5 mistakes we're about to cover disrupt this really delicate phase, and they are highly specific to this exact moment in the growing season. Understanding them right now, that is the difference between a bountiful harvest and a heartbreaking loss.
Think of it like this. When the water supply fluctuates, say you're really generous on a Sunday, you get busy and skip 3 days, and then you drench them again on Thursday, the fruit cells rapidly expand and then contract. But the actual skin of the tomato, it grows at a much slower rate. It literally cannot keep up with that sudden expansion, so it pops. It splits. And that split becomes an open door for devastating fungal diseases like gray mold. And here is a genuinely surprising fact for you. Irregular watering is the true cause of blossom end rot. You know, that heartbreaking, dark, sunken, leathery patch at the base of your fruit? It's almost never a lack of calcium in your soil. Actually, calcium only moves through the plant when it's dissolved in water. No consistent water means no calcium delivery, and those fruit cells simply collapse. The fix here is beautifully simple, and you can start tomorrow. Establish a daily morning watering routine. Water the base deeply and lay down a nice thick mulch of compost or straw to lock that moisture in. Once you get this steady rhythm going, your plants are going to thank you with perfectly formed fruit. You've totally got this.
Moving right along to mistake number 2, the high nitrogen trap. And look, I completely understand why so many of us fall into this trap. It feels like exactly the right thing to do. Your plants are finally putting on height, they're pushing out leaves, looking super vigorous, and your natural caring instinct is to feed them a high nitrogen liquid fertilizer to support all that gorgeous green growth.
But beneath the surface, it's a completely different story. If you pump a tomato plant full of nitrogen in June, it triggers an absolute explosion of lush green foliage, but completely at the expense of flowers and fruit. The plant essentially gets confused and directs all its energy into leaves and stems instead of your harvest. Even worse, and this is a fascinating little fact that really reframes how we look at plant care, that soft, fleshy, nitrogen-rich new growth acts like a glowing neon sign for aphids. It's an absolute magnet for them. You'll be covered in them by July. What your plant actually craves the second that first tiny yellow flower opens is potassium. So your immediate action here is to switch to a high potash feed. You'll know it because the K number will be higher than the N number on the back of the bottle. Apply it every 2 weeks, follow the recommended rate, no more, and you will smoothly, gently shift your plant's energy from growing leaves to growing beautiful tomatoes.
Okay, we're almost halfway through our list, but just a quick reminder for you. The most surprising, most dangerous mistake is still waiting for us at the very end of this explainer, the one that looks completely harmless. We are going to get there shortly.
For now, let's dive into mistake number 3, unmanaged side shoots. Now this specifically applies to indeterminate varieties. You know, those tall, climbing cordons that most of us love to grow. Managing these stems is easily one of the most widely misunderstood practices in the entire summer garden.
So, take a look at the leaf axil. It's that little 45-degree junction right between a horizontal leaf stem and the vertical main stem of the plant. Left entirely to their own devices, your tomato plant will try to push a brand new side shoot out of every single one of these junctions.
If you don't step in and manage them, each one of those shoots becomes a whole new main stem. And before you know it, your plant is this tangled, heavy, unmanageable bush that is directing all its precious energy completely away from your developing fruit. The fix is incredibly easy. When they're really small, under 5 centimeters or about 2 inches, just gently pinch them. They'll snap right off cleanly with your fingers.
But why is leaving them actually deadly? Well, it's all about air circulation. A dense, crowded, tangled plant creates a humid, still air trap. And in the warmth of June, those are the exact perfect conditions for blight, Phytophthora infestans. Blight is a devastating airborne fungal spore that can entirely destroy a mature plant in just 5 days from the very first symptom. Just 5 days. By simply taking 5 minutes once a week to wander through and gently snap away those small side shoots, you open up the airflow, you protect your harvest, and you keep yourself entirely in control of your garden. It's a lovely, peaceful weekly routine that saves plants.
Mistake number 4 brings us to an invisible, often ignored danger: underestimating cold nights. It is so incredibly easy to have a glorious, warm, sunny day in June and just assume, right, summer has permanently arrived. But we have to remember our history here. Tomatoes are, at their very core, tropical plants.
They evolved in consistently warm environments. 7 degrees Celsius, or 45 degrees Fahrenheit, that is the absolute threshold. Below that specific temperature, the plant's metabolic processes slow down so drastically that actual cellular damage occurs. Now, you might not see it the next morning, but it deeply compromises the plant's ability to absorb nutrients and fight off disease for literally weeks to come. But don't worry, the fix here costs almost nothing and takes seconds. Please do not pack your horticultural fleece away just yet. If the evening forecast calls for a clear, calm night dropping anywhere near that threshold, simply drape a double layer of fleece over your plants. You are effectively wrapping a warm, protective blanket around them, ensuring their growth doesn't stall for even a single day.
And now, we've reached it, the big one. The most counterintuitive mistake on our entire list. The most dangerous mistake is right here, and the real tragedy is that it's done with the absolute best possible intentions. Usually by really careful, attentive gardeners who are just trying to do everything perfectly right.
Mistake number 5 is the silent transplant killer. Let me be clear, this kills more tomato plants in June than blight, aphids, and irregular watering combined. The mistake is overwatering newly transplanted tomatoes in cold, wet ground.
I know exactly what you are thinking right now. You're thinking, wait, how on earth can watering carefully kill a plant? Watering sounds like highly responsible gardening. It feels like love and attention and care. But let's look at the complete science of what is actually happening completely out of sight, beneath the soil.
When you move a young tomato from a warm, cozy little pot into the much larger, colder volume of your garden soil, the roots are in a very vulnerable transition phase. They urgently need to explore outward and downward to establish themselves, and they naturally do this by seeking moisture. But if you generously water that new transplant every single day, those roots have absolutely no reason to explore. They get lazy. They stay incredibly shallow, just clustered right around the surface. And here is the truly deadly part. Cold, wet soil in June is the ultimate incubator for Pythium and Fusarium. These are nasty, soil-borne fungal pathogens. They thrive in waterlogged conditions, and they will literally rot a shallow root system from the bottom up. Your plant will look perfectly fine, healthy and green above ground, until one day it just suddenly wilts and collapses into a heap without any warning whatsoever. And by the time you see that wilt, it's too late. The roots are already gone.
So to prevent this disaster, we have to do something that feels incredibly wrong. When you transplant, water the plant in thoroughly just once. Do this to settle the soil and remove any air pockets. And then you stop. You walk away. You wait. You let the surface of the soil completely dry out. You wait until the plant shows the very first, mildest signs of moisture stress. Maybe just a slight softening or drooping of the leaves in the late afternoon heat. Only then do you water deeply again. I know, this temporary tough love feels like neglect, but it forces those roots to dive deep, searching for water, and it builds an incredibly resilient, extensive root system. This is the most counterintuitive thing in tomato growing, and knowing it right now puts you miles ahead of gardeners who have been growing tomatoes for decades.
So, let's pull all of this together into your immediate action plan for June so you can protect your plants today. First, check your watering consistency and lock in that daily morning routine for your established plants. Second, make the switch to your high potash feed. Third, take a nice peaceful walk through your garden this week and snap off any tiny side shoots on your indeterminate varieties. Fourth, double check your local forecast tonight for any unexpected cold dips. And finally, assess any new transplants you've put in Step back and let them get just a little bit thirsty so they can build those deep, strong, life-saving roots.
Look, tomatoes really aren't difficult, my friends. They are demanding, yes, absolutely, but every single demand they make is entirely reasonable once you understand the biology behind it. They're really just trying to tell you what they need to thrive. Please, let me know down in the comments which of these 5 mistakes has caught you out in the past. I read every single comment, and I genuinely love hearing about your garden journeys. If this explainer has helped you feel a bit more confident, please give it a like and subscribe so you never miss out on the knowledge you need exactly when you need it. You've got this. Protect your plants, trust the process, and as always, happy growing.